Alright, so now that I have my document created, what I want to do is I want to practice drawing with shapes in Photoshop. So I have a couple of images that I would like to draw actually. So I could just like drag this into Photoshop, but I'm not going to do that because I want to learn how to draw the shape itself. So with this arrow, okay, how am I going to draw it? Okay, so first I have to kind of plan out, kind of where it's going to go. So I'm going to bring down some guidelines here, and I'm going to say I want the top of the arrow maybe to be about here, and I'm going to say I want the bottom of the arrow to be about there, and then I'm going to make a couple more lines for kind of the body of the arrow, and I'm going to drag in something here to say that it's going to start there, and then I'm going to drag in another one maybe about there to say that's the point, and then the arrowhead kind of, we'll say it starts at there. Okay, so I've got all my guidelines in. So now that I have my guidelines in, I can go ahead and turn off the grid. So just go view and show, and then grid, and that disappears, so it's a little less distracting. Okay, now I want to draw that arrow. Just to remind you, that arrow looks like this. And so if I go over to my toolbar, this is the line tool. Yours might look like a rectangle or like a circle or whatever, but we want to go to the line tool. So just hold down and go down to the line tool. And now we are on the line tool. And so I can just use my mouse to kind of click and drag and draw myself a line. So I'm going to do that, draw a line like so. No, actually, it's very small, right? Okay, so I have my line here. I want to make it nice and fat. And so the controls for that, oops, I got to go back to my line tool. The controls for that are up at the top here. So you can see shape, okay? You can see fill, stroke, okay? And so this is the stroke width. I want to make that nice and fat. So let's go maybe there. Let's say 20. Okay, there we go. And so now I want to copy that and paste it again. So we'll go Control C, Control V. Okay, and I want another one just there. So you can see that because I have snapping on, it's lining things up exactly for me, which is great. That's what I want. And so I can make my next one. Control V again. This time we'll go maybe here. This one's going to be a little longer, so I'll go back to my line tool, and then I can extend it a little, maybe like this, okay? And so I can copy it to the top, move tool, move the thing that I copied, lines up for me, very nice, okay? And we kind of keep on going, maybe one more. So we keep going, oops. Okay, so if I drag it around like this, I can see that eventually, because I have snapping turned on, it measures the distance of the first gap, and then it says, hey, you want your second gap to be exactly the same? Well, I do. So we'll put it there, but this one has to be a bit longer. So I'm going to go to my line tool, and yeah, that's pretty good. Copy and paste, and we can move that. Oops. We can move that one up here, right in the right position, looking good, and so on. And then the top is going to look a little bit different. And so I'm going to draw, actually I could just copy this, Control C, Control V, okay, it's copied one, okay, and we'll put it there. But I actually want it to turn because this is the head of my arrow, and so I'm going to change this line like so. so that it stops there. And then I want to draw another line from this point, from here up to here. Actually, we can just Control V, and what we'll do is we'll rotate this one. Rotate. So if you recall, transform, and we can do a rotate. Actually, right here, rotate. Now it's like this. And so I move it into place like so. Okay. And then I want to put the another line, but this time I'll draw it like so. And where do we want to go? About halfway, but oh, I didn't put the halfway one. So actually, I'm gonna cancel that, Control Z, and I'll bring back my guidelines. So go View and Show Grid, and it needs to be right here. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my line now to there. Right there, snaps into place, and there we go. Now that I have this, I'm going to select all three of these last three layers. So you can see I have these different layers. So every time I made a new shape, it actually goes on a different layer. Okay. And I'm going to select all three of those. Control C, Control V, and now I have a duplicate. I need to flip it over to the other side, so we can just go into image. Nope. Yeah, image, transform, and there should be a flip. Flip horizontal or flip vertical? I think we want to go horizontal. Nope. That's not right. Control Z. Must be vertical. Transform, flip vertical. That's better. And we'll just move it into place. Just like that. Okay, and so now if I turn off all the grid lines and stuff, we go show, view, show, turn off the grid, turn off the guides as well. And that's it. There is my arrow. So yeah, it's a little messy in some places. That's fine for now. Photoshop, it works for stuff like this, but it's not the most flexible tool. We'll be looking at Illustrator later, and that will be even better for drawing stuff. But for something quick and dirty, this works just fine. Okay, so now if you take a look on my layers, I have like a zillion layers here. I want to organize them all, so I'm going to make a new folder. So down in the layers panel, there's a new folder icon. We'll create a new folder, and it's called Group 1. I'm going to rename it to we'll say Line Arrow. Okay, and then now I'm going to put all those things into that folder. Actually, to save time, I'm just going to highlight them all at once. So select the bottom one, hold down Shift, select the top one, they're all selected, put them all in there. Okay, and now what I can do is I can collapse this folder. And so now all I have is Line Arrow. If I press the eyeball, the whole thing disappears. But I can still open it up and press each eyeball one at a time, and that still works as well. Okay. That's great. So that is definitely something that you can do. And so you can remember to use lines. We'll be definitely using that many times in the next few weeks. But I want to try another picture. All right, and so here it is. This is what I want to draw next. Okay, how are we gonna do that one? Okay, so first thing I need is a circle. Okay, easy enough. So I'm just gonna go down here and we'll kind of do it in this blank space here. Circle. So if we go to the line tool and click on it and hold down, that actually gives us a whole bunch of different shapes. One of them is called the ellipse. Ellipse is a kind of circle. Ellipse is like an oval actually, but a circle is a kind of oval. So we can use this to draw circles. And so now I'm on the ellipse tool and you can see if I drag that it will give me an oval. Well, I don't want an oval, I want a circle, of course. To make a circle, all I have to do is hold down the shift key, and now no matter where I go, it's gonna be a perfect circle. So holding down the shift key changes it from an oval into a circle. We'll go with that. Right now it is a black circle. Actually, let's change the color. Let's change the color, so the fill. So up here again, fill and stroke and the width. So we can change the color of the fill to, let's make it something like a dark bluish kind of color. And so we get our color picker and we'll make it like this. Okay, dark blue circle, great. Now I need kind of like an arrow thing inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle right here. Okay. So I'm going to get my shape tools and I'm going to go rectangle. Okay, so rectangle, and I'll just draw a rectangle like so. So it defaulted to the same color. I don't want the same color. Actually, I want white. And so I'm going to go fill and we're going to turn it white. Okay. So, oops. Okay, so now I have a white rectangle. Excellent. But you can see that it still has an outline, but I don't want an outline, right? I want it just to be a blank outline. And so I'm going to turn the stroke to also white. So stroke, and I can go white here. Is that going to work? Let's just go here again. White, okay. I don't think it's quite white. That's the problem. I'm just going to change my fill to be, so to make it pure white, we go 255, 255, 255. Should be pure white now. We want our, so is that fill or stroke? Yeah, that's pure white now. Okay, good. Oh, it's a little too fat though, so let's just change the shape. So we select our rectangle layer again and select the rectangle shape, and I can use these handles to change it up a little bit. So we get a bit thinner. And we want to move it down a little. Actually, yeah, it's going to help me find the middle here. Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, now I need the arrowhead, so we're going to use a triangle. So we go back to our shape tool, triangle tool, good. And we'll draw ourselves a triangle, something like that. Okay, change the colors, fill, white, stroke, white. Okay, good. And we need to just turn it around. So, got our triangle image. Maybe we have to go edit, transform. And here, let's go rotate clockwise. There we go, that's better. And we'll just move it into place. A little too big, so we'll just select the triangle tool and we'll just make it a bit smaller. Okay, and there we go. Let's just make a new folder for our circle triangle. We'll call it circle arrow, and we'll put that stuff in there, and yeah, there. Oops. Uh-oh. When I put the stuff in there, I changed the order of the layers so that the ellipse is on top of the triangle. Let's just change that, so make the triangle up there. That's better. Okay, and so that's how you work with shapes and draw in Photoshop. Alright, so that's all for this video, and see you in the next one.